Hi guys, welcome to another movie crew review. Today we'll be reviewing Twisters.
The movie starred Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glen, Powell, and Anthony Ramos.
So we follow the story of Kate as we pick up 5 years after a tragedy following a tornado they were chasing, as Jarvie picks her back up and brings her back to try and map a tornado in a 3D view. And we meet Tyler, who is a tornado chaser from the YouTube worlds, and apart from the scientific aspects, ends up teaming up with Kate, and that's the antithesis of the movie. So, Cameron, if you'd like to take us away.
Yeah, from the get-go from this movie, all I kept thinking was, wow, this is like watching Fall, but with twisters, or tornadoes. So it starts off, bang, you're in the action straight away, like Fall, they're climbing a rock, straight away, boom, the main character loses the love interest, dead. Fall, same thing, loses the love interest. Then there's straight away, time apart, she's traumatized, fair enough. And then you got the other character that was with her, pulls her back in, and they go do this pretty much again. And then that's sort of where the Fall part dissipates, and then it becomes its own movie, which is fair enough. But I don't know, with these types of, sense of peril movies, I'm never invested. I can never get that tension in there. It just doesn't resonate with me. Like, I can't feel I just can't look past the ridiculousness of it all. Like when in the first scene, how they flip the trailer like it's GTA, like just press E to flip and it just flips the trailer. Like, I don't know. And then the tornado eats all this stuff and it gets really big. And this movie just, these types of movies, they just don't hit for me. So it's not this movie in particular. I think it's just the genre with me. But yeah, it's just pretty poor for me. I just didn't like it, didn't enjoy it. The only cool thing I thought was when they shot a firework up in the tornado. I thought that was really cool. It looked cool. But everything else was a bit meh. I could see everything sort of coming from where I was, and yeah. John?
So I think it's interesting that this film builds off the first Twister film. You don't need to see this one. It's pretty self-explanatory. They're people who chase tornadoes, so it's funny that they don't call them twisters really in the film.
Yeah.
So that's one of the strangest things. Why not call the film Tornado and Tornadoes? But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed the scenes where the tornado, stuff's flying around, and especially the end segment. I think that was quite well done in terms of both marrying practical and visual effects. I mean, the story's pretty simple, pretty basic, and I mean, at least in the first film, you have Bill Paxton, and it makes sense. We meet all the characters, we learn a little about them, so it makes you somewhat care for them and want to know what happens with their journey. In this one, it's mainly Kate. You think it's a Glen Powell film, and he's coming into it like 15 minutes into the film, and he's not really the focus of it, so that's a little misleading from the marketing material I saw. So I would have preferred it to be more focused on him, because he's more of an interesting character in my opinion than the Kate character. I know they're trying to address some kind of trauma or stuff that's happened at the start of the film with her, but for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I didn't really care about her as a character that much. She just really didn't interest me as much as I would have rather seen the cool tornado guys that are driving into tornadoes and launching flares and rockets up them. The acting's relatively well done. There's no actual cameos from anybody in the first film, and yeah, visually it's well done. Story wise, left a lot to the imagination, but it's still, if you want something that's an easy watch and a blockbuster style film, it's great to come and see the spectacle in the cinema. It's one of those films that I think would be good in like a 40X or a D-box style film where it's got some motion, got some effects to it. So yeah. Miriam?
Yep. I've got a knack. I'm a sucker for natural disaster movies, and this sort of fits that category. And I don't actually remember the first Twister much because I saw it when I was pretty young, and I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. It is what it is. Like, it is sometimes a bit silly, but I like those things. I mean, I love Sharknado, so yeah, the bar is pretty low, yes. So yes, just as John mentioned, so this movie is more about Kate, and I actually liked her character a lot because she lost someone in the beginning, but they sort of throw that away, and that sometimes comes back. So it's not very well done, but it's just to get you more interested in the character. Glen Powell, I think that he's like very charming, so you can never dislike him. He's good in the movie. There's not much. He's just a fun dude to be having around, and the CGI was pretty well done, and all the tornadoes I think look pretty cool. I didn't feel much tension. The biggest gripe for me is that there are so many characters in the movie. I was like, if none of them actually, like very few actually died, like there are like so much cannon fodder, and I was like, can we get rid of them? But they didn't actually die, and there is, I think, the guy who's going to play Superman, David Constant.
Yeah.
I actually wanted him to die. Like, wow, please, can we kill him? And he didn't die. I was like, that. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I think that's something that was missing, because in the first film you have the whole Aunt May, her house gets destroyed, and there's actually some kind of emotional thing to it, but there was nothing really to like hold the character to, because the deaths at the start, we didn't know who they were, so
yeah,
there might as well be a red shirt guy for all we know. It's not really a big deal. It would have been more impactful if like Jarvie would have died or something partway through the film, because you got to know him, you got to see him on screen a bit. But you were right, it's mainly Tyler's team, but no one's like, other than their generic catchphrases. I think I knew more about the British guy that was doing
he was British Jack Nicholson. I was like, is it Jack Nicholson like de-aged or something? No.
I actually like that character. I think it was an interesting twist, because it's like Rainn Wilson from The Meg.
Yeah.
He's a good way that you need to explain everything to, because he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, the exposition is great. It's the same character as Bill Paxton's wife in the first film. Somebody who's a novice, and that's why they're explaining it, as opposed to like just going through these long preambles and going. But
I still felt they did that. Like, the explaining was a bit over the top and unnecessary for me, because it is ridiculous as a concept as itself. Like, I don't need the whole kit and caboodle about.
You should watch Sharknado then.
Yeah, well, do they get rid of all the kit and caboodle? They just get to the point. It's just sharks in a tornado.
Sharks in a tornado.
Sharks in.
Yeah, well, this film is just twisters, and they want to kill the twister.
This movie has like the cheesiest ending I've seen in a while.
Yeah, well, actually, the ending was supposed to be slightly different. So when they're at the airport, they were supposed to kiss, and Steven Spielberg said it just completely changes the tone of the film, so they cut that bit out. But yeah, I know, but still, it does make a difference somewhat. Changes it from a love story to a teamwork story, if anything.
I mean, surface level is sort of.
I mean, it's not a movie to take seriously anyway, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, they drive a car into a tornado and it's ripping up houses, and these two little drill bits hold the car into the ground.
That's fun.
I mean,
yeah, like if you're gonna deep dive everything, it's not gonna make sense. But just for me, the
one good idea they actually had compared to the first film was the whole time they're driving that Dorothy unit in the first film around in the back of a pickup truck expecting it to get into a tornado. At least this time they chucked it on a trailer and thought, we'll just leave it in the path of the tornado. I mean, they killed so many things in the first film just because of that. But yeah.
Alright guys, we're going to give our scores?
Yep.
Alright man, how many tornadoes out of 10?
I'll give it a 6.5 tornadoes out of 10.
John?
I'm going to give it 7.5 twisters, tornadoes out of 10.
I'll give it 3 tornadoes out of 10. Alright guys, make sure to like, share the video, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.